afterwards in the presentation. My name is Jenny Simonsen. I work for ITS Norway, but I also work for Nordic Plus. Nordic Plus is an organization. As of actually this year, we have an organization number. Finally, we've been applying for it. It's not easy when you put together an organization consisting of 7 different countries. And there are some bureaucracy to it with both names, passport pictures, and believe it or not, one would think Norway has a very easy bureaucracy way, but it is not that easy. So for instance, if one country sent their passport in black and white, it was not accepted and had to be in color. Therefore, we are now happy to announce that Nordic Plus is an official organization. What does that mean for the other ITS organizations? Not no many big changes. It means that all the members of ITS organizations in the Nordic and the Baltic region are automatically, obviously, Nordic Plus members. But this also means that we can apply for funding, participate in projects, and thus work on a bigger market effort. And what we're going to hear today about the scaling part, you will probably hear the word scale quite often. And this means that Nordic Plus can provide this platform for you all in order to scale, to find partners, and also find the opportunities. Together we are, Nordic is the 5th largest economy in Europe, and meaning that we together actually have lots of possibilities. So we will have this program. I will share that now much better. We will have a short welcome from myself and Kimmo. I will give the word after this agenda to Kimmo, and he will explain what they have done, and then I will just quickly come back to explain what we're planning on doing with Nordic Plus and together with Finntraffic's experience already in this sector. And then we will hear from Annemette Guerrero. She's an investment advisor from Nefco, the Nordic Green Bank. That will be very exciting to hear. I guess that will be something new for you, many of you. And then we will hear from, I'm sorry to say, it's not Hans-Ivar Olsen, it's my fault, it's Karen from Triple Sign. She's from Netherlands, but Triple Sign is a Swedish company, but she's Dutch. Edgar from Latvia, Olav, Ansi, and then we will have a discussion after that. So we will hear about some different success stories and how, what kind of challenges they have encountered, but also what are the possibilities? How do they see the market outlook going forward into 2026? And we really want to hear from you all. We want you to use the chat, and we also want you to raise questions and add to the discussion. So if you have questions or anything to remark, please raise your hand, the digital hand, and state your name and your question. I guess, Kimmo, that will conclude my start and the welcoming. Give the word to you, and then we'll jump onwards.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. And now we are trying to also share some slides, hopefully in full screen.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jenny, and good morning from my side also. My name is Kimmo Ylisön, coming from Finntraffic. So Finntraffic, as you know, Finnish national traffic management company. And I would really quickly give you a snapshot about what we have done related to exporting Finnish solutions related to traffic data. So we call it Traffic Data Service Cluster, which I'm leading at Finntraffic. And as we already heard, we are discussing today about could it be also something which is exporting Nordic Plus solutions, not only to concentrate on Finnish solutions, but to start with a little expanded approach. So little bit background. I think most of you know already that FinTraffic is a quite unique setting for all traffic modes. We are a government-owned company. We are responsible for traffic management and traffic data on national level for all the traffic modes. And we are purely driven by data. So data is on our heart. Based on what we have and what are our responsibilities on national level, we have established so-called traffic data ecosystem some years ago in order to harmonize, in order to coordinate how we handle the data, how we make the most out of the data. So we are really working on ecosystem level related to this. And on top of that, we realized that there should be some operations in order to take these national really nice forerunner solutions from Finland to somewhere else. And that's the reason why we established and we start to establish traffic data service cluster something like 2 years ago. And we established the cluster in June 2024. So quickly about what we are doing. So how we deliver the value out of the cluster. So we think about we are stronger together. We have to combine the offering we have. We are also trying to find out, identifying and seeking the markets in order to have the right solutions for the right needs. And of course, in order to have the right match with the customers, so we are identifying the needs and key players in order to find the right leads and the doors to open for the companies. And of course, the main point is to find out the place where our companies can find new business opportunities. We are doing that quite sharp, with quite sharp actions, meaning that they're really dedicated, really concentrating on concrete meetings and visits, and by that way to find the new ways to new business and export for the companies. And why we are doing this to accelerate export together. I would like to highlight to making this together because it's much more easier for the companies to work together and open the doors together, and also to open the doors, not just open the doors, but open the right doors. We need the right doors open for the companies and also leverage collective offering. And the final point, which is the most important, to deliver new business to members of the cluster. Here is one example. As a matter of fact, Anssi will be talking later today related to their experiences, but just highlighting what it's all about. It's all about working together with the FinTraffic and working together with the companies in order to find the right place to play this game in export level. Cooperation with local supporters. Here, one example like embassies, which will open good opportunities for the local players, and also to have really sharp visits in order to arrange the right meetings. How we do this and how we work with that, we call it market action pipeline, meaning that if you look at the first 3 phases over there, prospecting, lead qualification, and setting up the leads and meets and sort of. So that's the area where we work as a cluster. So most of the black boxes are especially related to what we are doing as a cluster. We are prospecting the markets, we are finding the leads, finding the right places to play the game, and the color boxes are the leads. So by having this kind of preparation work before finding the right doors to open, then we finally end up to have a leads which we qualify and work together with the companies. And if you think about the arrows means that afterwards it's the phase where companies are taking care of the leads and making the sales. So our work as a cluster in order to have lots of these color boxes over there in order to have a good new opportunities for the companies. If we look at some KPIs, if we think about this is quite young cluster, but during the first 2 years, we have been working and having activities about 25 countries at the moment. We have had target mission visits and delegations, international delegations to Finland, or our delegations outside, or targeted mission visits, something like 20 times. And of course, one part is also to take care and participate to some of the congresses and events. And what are the results and what are the achievements? We have counted something like more than 60 leads. The value of these leads something between 30 and 40 million euros. Also, member sales linked to cluster operations is something like 10 millions. And at the moment, we have 15 members and discussions with some additional 15 at the moment. And what are the plans to take all the numbers, but just to say to double everything? So we would like to double the achievements during the next 2 years, this and the next one. And someone might ask what the membership brings you. The main thing is to export and new business opportunities. It's led by Fintraffic. We are a quite trusted lead company. In international level, we can open doors, and we are welcomed in many ways. So then we can take some companies together with us to discuss these things. And it's like having a joint missions, market insights, door opening, all in one package. So there is lots of activities, and all of these are targeted to have a new export and new business opportunities. And at the same time, this has already shown us that it's all the time expanding the global export network. We can use these connections, these new markets, and to have a new growth. So what you get, it's easier, cheaper, and faster market entry. It's multiple countries, valuable contacts, qualified leads, and doors opened, and all for one fee. And someone might think about what is the fee at the moment related to our cluster. It's something between 4,000 euros and 9,000 euros, depending on which kind of company and how big company you have. But to lead us to discuss today's topics, based on these 2 years experiences related to this kind of export cluster work, some of the key takeaways to today's discussions is that we need more to sell, and we need more sales. Quite often, if I started from expanded offering from Nordic Plus, quite often we end up the discussions with the potential customers, which kind of companies and solutions does your cluster have for this and this? So in many ways, we need more to sell. If I take the references for market fit, quite often we are in the middle of discussions related to can you prove the solutions are scalable and replicable? Use it at least in 2 countries. Like the last one, I got this question in Greece when we were there doing related to airports. So when we were able to say that, of course, this is already used in several countries, so then the doors were open. So we need this kind of reference market, and this is exactly where Nordic Plus could be really good example for that, and an initiative for that. And also boost the sales for companies, because we see that there is lots of opportunities. We have recognized there is a lot of opportunities. We need more companies in order to take the value out of these examples and these opportunities. And there are some information related to where you can find more from web pages, LinkedIn, and of course from me. But this was really quickly and shortly about the background, also for today's discussions. And I will give the floor to Jenny back then.
Thank you, Kimmo. And this is, if you got a little bit confused, it's not about promoting just the Fintraffic's job. It's actually to show what they've done. They've done a lot of good work, meaning we can replicate that into Nordic Plus, and this is exactly how we want to do for you from the Nordic Plus section. So thank you, Kimmo. That was very good, and you know that I've been very in awe of what you've done in Finland with the visits, with the providing companies the possibility to actually scale, and as Kimmo pointed out, what is becoming more and more obvious, and I guess more of the companies that are going to present will say that, is that can you prove this has been is working somewhere? Can you show reference projects, etc., etc.? And that what we want to do with Nordic Plus, and together with Finntraffic, and apply for the new funding proposal from Nordic Innovation, is actually to create this cluster where we can work together more on these export activities. So we're gonna share all the presentations with you. So I'm not gonna bore you with these kind of details, but I'm just gonna show that we have worked on a broader picture from what Kimmo just presented at Finntraffic, how we want to work together with the companies to give a broader offering across. And the Nordic has a lot of values and good values that makes it an interesting area and market. So I'm not going to go through the details, but we work quite extensively on looking at the objectives. Why Nordic Plus? What have we got to offer? How are we going to propose this and continue with this with you? For the short-term vision, we will continue on working on the platform that Finntraffic has established, but then we're gonna, on a longer term, look at the Nordic Plus as the input and the platform. So just to show you this picture, this is exactly how we want to work with you. Have events, have activities in order to come to opportunities. Not everyone will get a export. What we will get is actually a lot of visibility, and not to mention a large network where you might find partners, and not to say possible customers as well. So this is our plans, and we really want to invite you to join these plans as you're part of the Nordic Plus. I will, as said, share these presentations, but I will now give the floor to you, Anne-Mette, first, to give a short insight from your side, and then we'll move to hear the success stories from the companies.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for having me. I'm Anne-Mette Guerrero, and I will present Nefco and what we do. I'll just try and share my screen. Let me see here. Just see if I can make this work. Now it's in presentation mode, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Great. So Nefco, the Nordic Green Bank, we were funded in 1990 by the Nordic countries, Norway, Finland, Denmark, and Iceland. And we have a green mandate. So we provide exclusively green financing and also to take action to accelerate the green transition. We are headquartered in Helsinki with approximately 70 employees. I sit in Oslo. I'm the only one in Norway, and we have a representative also in Sweden. We finance Nordic companies' expansions into new markets with green solutions. We also provide fund managing for municipalities' recovery in Ukraine. We also have a special funds department which works with clean off-grid energy businesses in sub-Saharan Africa. And we have demonstration projects in the Baltic Sea. So basically we are fund managers either for funding from the Nordic countries and EU, or we fund our own amounts in the fund. And the sectors that we finance, we're quite sector agnostic. So we look at all green within several sectors. What typically is within circular economy, energy and energy efficiency, food, manufacturing, transportation and e-mobility, and water, seas and ocean. What we do and our financing options. The first is a new market entry, which is a feasibility study grant, which I will go more into in the next slide. And then we have scale-up investments, more on the debt financing side. Here it says up to 5 million euros, but this has been increased now to 10 million euros. So we finance the initial scale-up of Nordic green solutions on global markets. It can be both exports, but also if the companies want to expand to other countries by having, for instance, offices in other countries. It's, as mentioned, grants and loans and equity-type financing, meaning convertibles. So we want to help companies become more bankable and mobilize public and private financing in their companies. So I will go into this grant, which we call NOPEF Financial Support. NOPEF is the Nordic Project Fund, which was established by the Nordic countries in 1982 by the Nordic Council of Ministers, but NEFCO has been managing this fund since 2014. And the grant is for feasibility studies aiming for internationalization, and where we focus on green growth and climate solutions. And this fund is funded through the Nordic Council of Ministers' annual budgets, so it's approximately 2 million euros annually. So since the inception, we have financed or co-financed more than 3,000 projects. We have approved up to 100 million euros in funding. And there are more than 1,000 Nordic companies that have established international operations with this NOPEF grant. More details on this grant. Of course, the target sectors are green and sustainable solutions. The target country, so the applicant needs to be a Nordic country, and the target countries where you want to conduct your feasibility study needs to be a country outside the EU or EFTA. However, we are working on including this region as well, and we will get to know that, I believe, Q2 this year. So it will be easier, for instance, for a Nordic country to look towards a neighboring country, for instance. But as of today, it's only outside the EU EFTA, and I believe the closest market is the UK after Brexit. The financial support is up to 50% of the approved feasibility study cost to a maximum of 50,000 euros. Eligible costs includes salaries, travel costs, consultants, and external consultants for the feasibility study. And the feasibility study can be, for instance, what you call it, market mapping, market entry requirements. If you would want to look at risk assessments in the market that you're entering, partnerships, or if it's actually feasible for the company to establish themselves in that market or country. So the feasibility study is aiming to reach a final decision concerning either internationalization for an establishment, meaning if you want to establish commercial activities through a local subsidiary, or a joint venture or acquisitions. Or the feasibility study aims to then look at a pilot project or demonstration project in a certain country. So before you basically enter into a country, we would like to kind of test how it will look like, or which partners you would like to engage with. And then who can apply for the NOPA funding? It needs to be a Nordic SME with less than 250 employees and less than 50 million euros in turnover. The products or services needs to be commercially proven. So it cannot be, in a sense, the first pilot project, for instance. It should be, or it can be the first pilot project, but then you need to show kind of the financials behind it. And the project needs to contribute to Nordic interest via jobs and export, and also if you have Nordic partners involved in the projects, and it has to have a positive environmental impact. We have ongoing applications throughout the year. For this year, we have 6 deadlines. And the next one is actually the 13th of February this year. And the process is that you send the application, and then NOPEF employees will evaluate the application within 5 to 6 weeks. And then the typical feasibility study is between 1 to 2 years, but you can also have a 6-month feasibility study, or you can actually have started the feasibility study when you apply. However, the cost will occurred will not be eligible. However, the rest of the costs will be eligible within the grant scheme. And then you have a final report where the funds are converted into a grant. So basically, the amounts are kind of a loan, and then it's converted to a grant. And then NEFCO, loans and equity. So NEFCO, we provide loans and equity type financing up to 10 million euros. When we say equity, we mean more convertible loans and companies that are a bit more established within listed, which are listed or about to be listed on the stock exchange. So mainly loans we provide. The typical maturity is between 5 to 7 years. And the interest rate is on market terms. We use Euribor as reference rate. And we have various options to structure the financing from senior and secured loans to subordinated loans and convertible loans, as mentioned, with exit options. We do co-finance with companies' own funds or other financiers, investors, or commercial banks. But we would like to be in a position where the companies are not yet 100% bankable. So we would like to help them kind of scale their solutions or technologies or services outside the Nordics. That was just shortly about the NEFCO loan. I will also show you some examples which have received NOPEF financing, NOPEF grant or NEFCO loan. So the first case here is Elon Road. They have this, what you call it, this lade. I can't find the charging.
Induction, yes.
On the ground. So they received NOPEF financing to see if they could scale to the US. We also have given a loan to Green Mobility AS, which is a Danish company offering an app-based electric vehicle rental service. So more kind of car sharing type of company. We also have actually given a loan to Hop, which is an e-scooter service, more kind of on the micro mobility. It was a lot of transportation or mobility approximately 4 to 3 years ago. And Skipperi, which is then an electrical boating company, which offers rental of these electrical boats. And then also Concept Telematics, which is a Swedish company. And they received a NUPEF grant to see if they could do a feasibility study entering into the Brazilian market. So these are like just kind of target transport examples. We also have some others which are not it's not publicly or we haven't published anything about those companies, but we have several in the Nordics within the transport sector that has received either a NEFCO loan or NUPEF grant. And I would like to kind of just share the last slide for our Baltic friends, because when I say Nordic, both NUPEF and NEFCO provide financing to the Nordic countries, meaning kind of Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. So the Baltics are kind of outside that scope. However, our big sister entity is NIB, Nordic Investment Bank, which is more for established companies. But we sit together with them or the same premises in Helsinki. They also look at green shifts and productivity, but they're more on bigger kind of infrastructure and productivity. I know that they have financed, it's a Torghatten, which is in Norway, kind of this electrical ferry in the north. They offer also long-term loans. They have larger tickets than us. It can be up to 100 million euros, I guess. But I think they also can provide lower levels of financing up to 10 million, but they also exclusively on financing on the debt side. So that's kind of where the Baltics can look at options. NIB, or Nordic Investment Bank, is also an InvestEU implementing partner. I think that was it. So thank you. I don't know how you want to do it with questions, Jenny.
Yes, very good, Annemette. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, just raise your hand. I have just a question regarding the last kind of an InvestEU implementing partner. What does that mean? Do you know that?
Yes, so they're part of the InvestEU kind of guarantee scheme. NEFCO is also that. So NIB and NEFCO collaborate. No, not NEFCO. NIB collaborates with InvestEU and the kind of European side of it. Like Norway, we're not part of the EU. But have been lucky enough to be included in those schemes that InvestEU and the EIF and EIB kind of sphere. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Anyone has any questions to Annemette? Now is a perfect time to ask any technical questions or any other questions regarding funding or financing. This is very interesting because we were not so much aware of it. So I'm very pleased that we have received this information. I don't know how many of you were well aware of NEFCO or the presentation Annemette gave, but we will share that. As said, can we share the presentation?
Yes.
Or do you want to exclude the company? Or is that official information?
That's official information.
Okay.
I can send it to you in a PDF after this meeting. But you can also kind of reach out to me directly. I can send my contact details after the meeting as well, because now I've just run through kind of quickly.
Yeah.
So it's probably also a lot of more details that I can tell you.
Yeah. Kimmo?
Yes, just one short question about the funding. Is it always related to one company, or is it something which is related to a group of companies?
Good question. When it comes to this grant, it should be kind of one applicant, and then how you kind of share that grant scheme, that should be up to the companies, but it's always kind of one company that applies. You can also have partners, so you can just write down the partners. However, the applicant will be the one that receives the funds.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And Joseph?
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much, Mette. I have a question. How do you rate the green focus of a project? Do you have KPIs or do you have a type of a model? That would be of interest.
Yes, good, great question. We in NEFCO, we and NOPEF, we have a separate environmental department which assess all the projects or companies that we believe are within the green. Sometimes they are not, but we use the EU taxonomy primarily to kind of rate them or categorize them according to the EU taxonomy categories, as well as eligibility and alignment. We also have our own kind of mandate and own guidelines to go forward with when it comes to the green. We might seem a bit more stricter on the green, so it's kind of dark green or green. And we look at kind of it when it comes to, for instance, IoT software companies. We look at those as enablers within the green transitions, for instance. Hardware, of course, it's more kind of direct. But then we look at kind of how much impact does the solution impact on the society. It doesn't need to necessarily be CO2 emissions. It can be, for instance, biodiversity impact. It can be a circular economy and how that affects the societies or companies or countries. But mainly EU taxonomy is kind of the first assessment that we look at.
So it's more covering sustainability elements such as environment, such as economy, such as the society, and so on. So you really have a basket of sustainability, which is important for each and every project. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Mette, so much. That was very interesting. We will move on now to the companies, giving their short introduction on both the positive and both the challenging sides of scaling and exporting. So I will give the first word and floor to Karin Koelma from Triple Sign, and you can share your presentation. Karin, you are here.
Yeah, thank you. I will open my presentation. It may take a little while, but...
And after the presentation, we have some time for questions, and they have all been assigned a certain amount of time to give their part, and then they'll the questions, and then we move on to the next one.
Okay. I don't know how to maximize this, but...
It's fine.
Okay. I'm Karin Kulma. I'm the Export Sales Director at Triple Sign System in Sweden. Today, I like to tell you a little bit about my personal export journey. It's not a perfect success story, but it's an honest one. I will talk about the barriers that we faced, what helped us move forward, what we're still struggling with, and how initiatives like Nordic Plus can help companies like ours scale up successfully. So we are a Swedish manufacturer of prismatic VMS. I hope everybody understands the concept of this. Our main market is traffic safety and traffic management. And this is either to increase traffic safety or to enhance traffic flow. And from the beginning, export has been essential to our growth, because the Swedish market alone is simply too small to scale such a specialized product. It's actually a niche market in which we operate. However, exporting is not something that automatically works just because you have a very good product. So how our journey started? It started, not with a perfect strategy, of course. It was more like there were some opportunities, foreign inquiries, pilot project, or a trade fair, and from there there were some inquiries, and we started talking, and we got in some projects. So in the beginning, actually, we were very reactive. We learned by doing and sometimes by making mistakes, and by learning from the mistakes we learned how to do it even better, etc. So this is still an ongoing process. But one of my first realizations was that exporting is not about selling the same solution everywhere, but about understanding the market deeply. So it's actually, we have the same product everywhere, but you present it differently in every market, and you need to make some adaptations. So of course, we had a lot of barriers to overcome. First of all is the regulation and standards. Fortunately, we have European standards, which is very helpful for us. So EN 12966 standard for our product. As long as you comply with those regulations, it's a lot easier. But also you need the references, because if you don't have references, you have to prove that you are credible. So you need references, and in order to get references, you need to have a project. But you need so it's a little bit like what comes first, and it's a struggle in the beginning. It's very difficult to build this trust, especially when it's about public infrastructure projects, of course. Decision processes take very, very long. They're very slow, and they're influenced by politics and budget cycles. So this is also a difficulty to overcome. And internally in our organization, export requires time, focus, and people, and that can also be challenging for a growing company. So there are some barriers that we still face, even though we have sold our signs in many, many countries worldwide. Even today, there are barriers. Scaling while still offering flexibility and customization is a constant challenge. So Nordic markets differ significantly from Southern Europe or Middle East, and we constantly evaluate when to work with partners and when to sell directly. So we're constantly looking for new partners, and they want to have exclusivity, but if we give them exclusivity, what will this mean for the rest of the market? Do we have the right partner here? It's very difficult to decide. So it's a challenge constantly, actually. And of course, we have to compete with large-scale multinational companies, which are a reality we can't get out of, and they make some blockages for us as well. So it's not easy. But what does work? What works well? There is a lot of positive factors, because sustainability is a strong driver internationally, and it's becoming more and more important. And this is where we can clearly have everything in our favor. Customers value solutions that are reliable and that are easy to operate. Building long-term relationships is far more effective than chasing quick wins. Most importantly, it's that listening to the local needs rather than pushing technology has helped us succeed. So we are offering a solution rather than a product. Then I will come to the export do's and don'ts. So if I had to summarize my export experience in a few do's and don'ts, I can say do invest in strong local partners and ambassadors. Do invest in building a network and building relations also with companies that don't seem to have a connection with you at first, but later on appear to be very important to work with. Do understand the full ecosystem, road authorities, consultants, decision makers, and know where to start in each different market. In one market, our system is already used a lot. In other markets, it's a development that still has to be done. So you start in a different place. So when the product is not known at all in a market, you start with the consultants and the decision makers. And if the market is established, you work with IT integrators and end customers. So you have to be very, very patient because export takes a lot of time. On the other hand, do not assume that one solution fits all markets, because that will probably not be it. Don't rush scalability too early. It's something that has to grow in a kind of natural way as well. And don't focus too strong only on technology, because the context is also very important. This whole political context, there's so many factors in play here. So how the Nordic Plus can help? Initiatives like Nordic Plus can play a crucial role in exportation, because they can help you to have access to trusted networks in other Nordic countries, and this is extremely valuable. We have been working with a few of the companies that are participating in this webinar. And I think that working together will make it possible to have reference projects, and these reference projects will make it possible to scale up also in other countries. So this is a really, really very helpful and important way to work. So, for example, introductions to public stakeholders and decision makers can make a significantly shorter way to enter a market. Sharing real export experiences, including failures, can also help us move forward. And joint visibility towards international markets can also strengthen our smaller companies like Triple Sign, like us. Tools and mechanisms that are needed for export. In order to scale successfully, we need these concrete tools like market insights per country, especially regarding regulations and procurement processes. We need support in finding the right partners, both technical and commercial. We need assistance with pilot projects and reference cases, and therefore like initiatives of funding is also very interesting for us. And we of course use platforms where we can export, where export companies can openly share knowledge and experiences, like this Nordic Plus association. But we're also part of a few other ones. And then to end my presentation, export is a journey. It's not a straight line. It's a continuous learning process. There will constantly be barriers thrown up at you. There will be problems to overcome. But collaboration makes growth faster and more sustainable. And by working together through networks like Nordic Plus, we can strengthen Nordic companies not only in our region, but also globally. So thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Excellent, Karen. That resonates so well with what Kimmo and we have been thinking about the cluster as going forward. What I will do is that we will have a kind of a session after all the presentations, because I have some questions, but I would like all of you to kind of answer that. So please stay on the line, Karen, and I will move on to you, Edgars, for your presentation. So please share your presentation, Edgars, and then we will continue from there. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Karen. I fully agree with your statement, especially the last one. The export is a journey. You know, it's not like a straight line. I think it's really on the point. Yes. So my name is Edgar Starkis. I'm representing company DOTS. I'm working in transportation mobility market segment. I'm a product lead of Fitz Traffic. And for today, I have prepared a couple of the slides, a bit about the company which I'm representing. So DOTS is active in 3 market segments. One is traffic safety, everything what is related to different safety things for the cities, for the regions, or national roads, or concessionaires, like speed enforcement, weight and motion enforcement systems, suspicious vehicle monitoring, parking enforcement, and other different safety solutions. Also, we are working in market segment traffic and infrastructure management, where we are providing operational back office for monitoring and managing various traffic infrastructures for the cities, for regions, and national roads, including autonomous variable measure signs operations, where we are also cooperating with Triple Sign and Karen and her colleagues. Then the third market segment is tolling and road user charging, where we are providing operational enforcement back office for applications of different toll schemes, low emission zones, and road user charging schemes. The core product of what we are offering is a software solution, which consists basically of 2 main components. One is this operational back office for all these 3 market segments and different use cases. Second thing is our own video analytics engine for analyzing video streams and analyzing the photo streams for different transportation mobility needs. And if we move further to today's topic of presentation, first of all, I wanted to a bit explain why we joined the Nordic Plus family. So one of the things actually is so that when we were participating in exhibitions before ITS Latvia was established and before we became part of Nordic Plus, I was a bit jealous, I would say, of the Nordic Plus Pavilion. I always saw the Nordic Plus Pavilion exhibitions, and it was really crowded, always a lot of activities happening there, a lot of people are being attracted, and so I really wanted to be part of it. And after a couple of the years now, we have ITS Latvia, and we have as well, we are part of Nordic Plus family, so I'm really proud of that. And one of the first things was that we wanted to be part of this Nordic Plus Pavilion in all these ITS industry events like Intertraffic, ITS Europe Congress, and others, which are happening in different places in the Europe and in the world. Second thing is that we wanted to be part of neighboring countries' largest transportation, mobility, and logistics community, which brings a lot of different benefits, which we can receive, like different experience exchange visits, workshops, joint events, and different other activities which are happening here in the Nordic region. Third thing is about having the possibility to work on common export projects, like working together with different partners, like as mentioned, Triple Sign from Sweden, and other companies from Estonia and Finland and Norway and Denmark. So joining on common projects and common export targets, where we are commonly packaging like a common offering, which we are offering to other potential end customers. Fourth thing is about possibility to learn from neighbors. So there are organized different experience exchange visits, where the like the UK visit to Latvia, Estonia, and Finland last year in November, and experience visits between the countries, like we'll have this Latvian Estonian visit to Norway in February. We had some delegation to Finland as well, I think last year or year before last. So there are a lot of these kind of experience exchange visits happening, and I can see that the people from the different organizations, public and private, they're happy to learn from each other and actually take different things and learnings from those visits and experience what they have learned, what they have seen, how people are doing different things in public transportation, in traffic management, in traffic safety operations, and many other different areas. So it's really a good place where to learn from each other. And of course, the fifth is easier to find partners for different EU calls. As Nordic Plus is one family, you know, it's if you need some partner from any other Nordic country, it's just one email to the particular country's head, and you can identify a stakeholder which you need for different projects where you're willing to apply. As you all know, in many external funded projects, there is requirement for having 3 or 5 sometimes countries participating. So in the Nordic family, we have more than 5 countries, and we can easily apply for different funded projects. A bit about positive factors. One thing is that what I mentioned at the beginning when I started the slide about the Nordic Plus was that I really see positive effect of being part of the largest and most visited booths in the industry events. Sometimes not largest by square meters, but it's largest by people who are there, who are attending. There is always a person who can assist and guide some partners, customers, or visitors who are coming. Attended compared to other booths in the industry events, as I can see, you know, sometimes there are listeners less than speakers outside on the stage. But in Nordic Plus, we don't have such kind of situation. So it's very well attended and very well organized booth for the industry events. So big thank you for that from the organizers of those events. Second thing is being part of the best evening event of Nordic Plus Nights. It's always very interesting event and very amazing event, I would say, and one of the best organized, which I have experienced in different parts where I have attended these Nordic Plus Nights events. And the third thing is friendly communication between Nordic Plus family members. Thing do's and don'ts. First, do's, what you need to do basically to prepare for events. It's very important and crucial for any other SME exporting to start the preparation at least 1.5 or 2 months before the event. This actually I have learned as well very well from Joseph Tsako, who is attending this meeting and being here as a listener, that it's super important to prepare for events. For example, now Intertraffic is upcoming in the beginning of March, and we have started our preparations already last year, December. And now in January, we are already starting to prepare some meetings and side event activities and other activities for the Intertraffic event. Another thing is for those, it's important for the events to be on the stage, especially for SMEs. So to have a panel discussion, a special interest session, or another kind of the session, so that you are being noticed, you are being seen on the stage in the program of the event, in the stage where the different new people can come and listen and hear the things what you have to say. Because as Karen also mentioned, each country internationally, they have a different specifics and different challenge, different needs. And maybe you think that no one needs actually the thing what you're presenting, because it's already, you know, in the Nordics, for example, or in the Baltics, it's already like, I know, done 5 or 10 years ago. But in the world, definitely there are markets where this is stuff which is needed, which hasn't been done, and for which they are willing to work. And maybe you have a chance to sell your product or service there. So being on stage, I think it's important for all the events which you're participating. It's also nice to have some small side events, as many industry players and partners and customers are attending these events. Then we are always trying in either in Intertraffic, because I think Intertraffic is one of the best places outside where to organize that, to have some sort of the side event. Either it can be a workshop focused on particular region or market. It can be some, I don't know, discussion about certain thing. Simply that's a place where you can meet and gather those people. We have done such kind of side events for the DACH region. We have done such kind of side events for the Baltic region, and other specific cases what we have organized in the past events. I think Karen also just mentioned the fourth one. It's invest into long-term partnerships. I truly believe in the partnerships, and we have good partnerships established already in different markets, and partners will help you in different situations and different projects, and you'll have honest feedback in different cases in this challenging journey of the approaching different export markets. Here I can give a lot of good examples from our learnings, but that's will be out of my 10 minutes. How can Nordic Plus help to scale in Nordics and elsewhere? Here I thought about three things which I think can be boosted. It's already happening, but I think it can be boosted as the Nordic family is bigger and stronger. So I believe that we can boost these activities. So first thing is more cross-border events within the Nordic Plus family itself. So different is, as example, this visit to Norway in February. I think we need to organize such kind of things more oftenly, you know, once per quarter or something like that, where different thematical activities should be organized and this experience exchange should be done. Even maybe sometimes it can be done online as well. You do not need to spend a lot of time and money to travel somewhere to get the group of the people to some other country. Of course, it's the best way how to learn it and see it in action, but sometimes you can do some things as well in online format. Second thing is more common workshops involving public, private sector representatives in different directions. Is goal to work on common projects, industry standards. I think if you speak about the Nordics, it's from European perspective as well. There is a TEN-T network, and it's important that we are working on common standards and activities, how we make the journeys of the citizens and people throughout the Nordic region more efficient, more friendly, user-friendly, and attractive. Despite which modes of transport you're using, are you using a car, or you're going by train, or by plane, or by sea, or any other, so that the mobility is really connected, and we use the same standards so that the information is available in many different applications which you are using for your journey plannings and activities. And the third thing is participation in more industry events with common Nordic Plus Pavilion, because I think the Nordic Plus Pavilion is one of the best in the industry which I have seen in the market. And I think the more events should be added to the list where the Nordic Plus is attending commonly with common booths, both in Europe and other markets. That's it from my side. Thank you. I'm open, available for any questions during the meeting or after the meeting. You can find me on LinkedIn, and my contact details can be found on the website as well.
Thank you, Edgars. We know that Fitztraffic will be present at Intertraffic. You will unfortunately not be there because you had booked your holiday with your family somewhere in the warm. So we will surely miss you a lot at Intertraffic, but there will be many more events.
Jenny, you know, the issue is so that RAI somehow did the event exactly on the school holidays, you know, on the week exactly when the school holidays are happening, but it's hard to plan for them, you know. School holidays are in different times and different weeks in each of the markets of Europe, so.
Yeah, there you go. But I know we will see you at many events, and at least in February here in Oslo. Thank you so much. I have some questions again, as I said, so that we'll go jointly that you will be able to answer. I will just move on then to our next one as well that will share the presentations. Olav Madland from Applied Autonomy. I hope you're with us, and if you can share your presentation. Olav?
Yes, I'm here. I try not to find the best way to do it.
Perfect. Now I saw you.
I think.
There we have it. Very good.
So thank you for having me here. I try to be short so we can have time for questions afterwards.
Yep.
So I will take this into. I will also have a video, so I'm let's say nervous about the sound will work well, but we hope so. from the video. So what do? We deliver our remote control center software solution called Crossflow for autonomous vehicles without safety driver on board. It's not a dream, it's something that is there. We do not deliver the sensor technology on the vehicles, but they are connected to the software that is used in the control room. So then we go into the story. We were founded in 2017 by Ola Madland and myself. My background is I've been a member of ITS Norway since 2007 because my previous company that I founded were within port logistics. And that had an exit in 2014. Then I worked with Frode, that I saw is also here, as a consultant in Acando. I was manager for ITS, Intelligent Transport Systems. We had consultants working in Statens vegvesen, in Jernbanedirektoratet, in different, let's say, areas of transport in Norway. This was also an international company, Acando, in Sweden and so on. So I worked with also my partners, colleagues in Sweden and in Germany. Intelligent transport systems, what's really that? And my background I've been working in Telia and in Telenor many years, Alcatel, so I've been working with telecom communication. And in 2015, I saw an autonomous bus at ITS World in Bordeaux, and I saw Easy Miles on Navia, and yeah, they were driving slow. I took a picture of them. I think that was a bit strange, but I had a talk with the CEO of both of the companies, and yeah, they had not been in the Nordics. They didn't know about snow. They didn't know about, let's say, uphills and downhills, and they were driving in, let's say, flat areas. So then I asked, do you like to scale? Yes, we like to scale. I brought EasyMile to Norway. And the idea was actually from the beginning to make Crossflow. Because these vehicles, they are smartphones and wheels. And you know, a smartphone can be very smart, but without connectivity, without services like Spotify and so on, they are not so valuable. So the idea was to make Crossflow as both and let's say IoT platform for mobility, where autonomous vehicles can be connected, and a remote control center where a human in the loop can assist passengers and vehicles. So we got the first EU-funded project that was there when we founded the company, and we there are different milestones here. We have been operated without a safety driver on board in 2021 with our platform, with our customers. We have deployed a large bus with customers in Stavanger, in Norway. We have signed airport, Rotterdam and Milan now in 2024, and we are scaling up with new customers from 2026 and upwards. Why is this a market segment? Yes, because there is over 100,000 drivers that does not exist in Europe. There is a lack of drivers. The 105,000 was from 2023. Now it's in 2025 it's 150,000. And you know, it's a high cost of them, but there is also a lack. When there's a lack, public transport agencies have to reduce their service. Worst is Netherlands. They have a bigger challenge than Germany. So the market is not in Norway. But when we founded the company in 2017, I felt I needed to find a customer that could love me, that I also could love, because it's about to create a network. And we were so lucky that we got V Group, that is the largest operator in Norway and Sweden, to be the first customer. That was a strategy. We could, of course, operate these vehicles ourselves, but we know that, okay, if we are going to be an operator ourselves, There are 64 different operators in Norway. Then we just won 65. We are there more or less with all these other 64 as competitors. It's better to have all of them as customers. It will take longer time to get them as customers, but that is our market. So yes, but I got lucky. We got them as the first customer in Kongsberg, and then they have been working with us in many different projects. And they are very open to sell, to help, but to get new customers. And that is also a value of a reference customer and a customer that loves you. They must also help you to scale because you can sell, but the best salesman is the customer because that creates trust. So this is what we are doing. We are part of an ecosystem. We are connected autonomous vehicles that are on the market. We do not have any manufacturing of vehicles in Norway, so how to find them? And the other side, we are connecting the journey planning systems, the public transport systems to our platform. So what we do in Crossflow is to connect the vehicles with the systems that they already have. So vehicles, yes, they are autonomous, but they look more or less equal to the existing vehicles that are there, but they have a lot of sensors and so on. They have a virtual driver. So we connect them to Crossflow, and then in the remote control center and by our software, these things can be done. Analytics, monitoring, remote assist, and so on. And the platform has been developed during the journey from 2017. It have taken more time. 2017, we thought that all these vehicles would be driven by themselves in 2021 and 2022. I thought 2027. And I do now in the US and so on. But in Europe, buses is more important. So then about the story, how did we think? Yes, I said, believe in your strategy, check your strategy, and adjust your strategy based on what you learn. I started there. And the best way to test your strategy, to evaluate your strategy, and to get, let's say, be small and go out there is to be part of permanent networks. The Nordic Plus is there, ITS Norway is there, Startup Lab is there. That is, let's say, they fund startups. They also support startups. Nordic Edge is something equal, but they work together in Norway. Traffic data I just learned about. They can be a network, but also in Sweden you have others. And also in Latvia, I do not know so much about, but I know there are very good ecosystems in Estonia. And work with them, test your strategy, ask for support from them. They also help. They need more customers. They need more members. They can also grow. Temporary networks is very valuable. Horizon Europe project, Nordic Innovation is good project. There you also can test your strategy. You can build value based on soft funding from these organizations, and find partners and customers where you can deliver value and get value. Of course, you must see that you can create value for somebody. It can be for the community. It can be for we have a B2B market. That is our target. So next phase of this is listen and understand others. When you test your strategy, you have to listen, ask questions, because and find also who also need a friend of your type. Where can you fit in? Where can you help others to create value? You are very often part of an ecosystem. And find out if you can create value to them, because then they can be part of your friendships and your ecosystem. To find then international friends can be difficult, because to sell to local friends, then trust is very important. To sell to international ones, they have another trusted systems. Then you must even listen maybe more and find out where you can fit in. And especially that was the case for us because we do not have vehicles here that we manufacture in Norway. So I've been at very many different exhibition and IP shows and so on and presented. And I also then evaluate who's not for us, who is going to take from us. There are always competitors that like to learn early. So yeah, that is part of it, journey. Make them friends. Those that you find out can be friends to your network. That also is valuable to them. So it's very much about like when your friend is a person, your friend is as a company. Next step, deliver value and be, of course, trustworthy. That is very important because building network is something about trust. It's very easy to lose trust, but it's very difficult to gain. So be very clear on your position, and it's challenging when you're a startup because you do not know exactly where to be, and then I'd say it's very important to listen out, and if you have too wide scope on your strategies, you will have many competitors. So it's better than to be clear what to do, and then it's easier to get partners and get customers. And the next one is can somebody be your reference to your value, company or employees? Both the company need references, but also persons. Companies, small startups, and also medium-sized companies, the employees are very important. I usually say that what is the cash in the company? The cash comes in the morning and it leaves in the afternoon because it's the employees that is the most important value, and be visible in scale. Then I have a short video. Let's see if it works.
Is it short, Olav? Because I would like to also give Ansi his time. We can't hear the sound. So if
Okay,
you can share the presentation and also the video on the chat, and we can have a look at that, because I need to move on as well, Olav, now with the time.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Olav. I know there's a lot of insight from your side as well. And the good part is that both Triple Sign, Fits Traffic, and Applied Autonomy will be at Intertraffic. But I will give the word now to you, Ansi, because Solita has some interesting experience also to share. I hope you're with us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Jenny, and very, very good morning for all. I jumped in on at 11, so I had the chance to see the last two presentations, and I already saw that there is lots of similar stuff will be on my presentation, which I will start now. I hope you will see my slides.
We see your slides. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, so my name is Anssi Crooks. I work as the Director of Mobility and Logistics Services at Solita, and I spend a bit of time explaining what is Solita. So we are a digital transformation company originally founded in Tampere, Finland, and this year we will turn 30. And we are currently present in 9 countries and employ a bit over 2,000 employees, and we are offering everything you will need for your digital transformation. So from design to actual implementation and maintenance of the systems. And here is a big overview of our countries at the moment. So we have an official definition that we work in the beer drinking Europe, and so mostly North and Central Europe, and also UK as the latest addition to our countries. Right, but so today it's all about export. So I will share some experiences, and especially exporting mobility and logistics related digital expert services, and of course mostly for public sector clients, because usually the buyers in this segment are public sector and they operate within the national procurement laws. But we start from what has worked well and some key learnings. So what has helped us to be successful in exports, and the first and maybe the most important is that you need to have really strong product market fit in order to be successful. And what helps finding is to find niche markets, because of course transport logistics is a great example of a business segment where there is lots of niche markets and new ones are popping up constantly, and there might be some that are really underserved in some countries, and finding those and maybe fine-tuning your products is one of the key enabler for success. Also, I really like the previous presentation about this references. I also believe that that's also one key thing, that you have to have proofs and validation by references on your quality and the value you have already created. So that's really important thing. And also access to partners and early supporters when going to new market is crucial, and there are multiple reasons, but also sharing the information and ideas is one of them. And a few learnings. Researching the markets deeply before entry is really important, because of course typically you have only so much resources, and where to put them is a difficult situation or difficult decision, and if you don't have good enough market insights, making those decisions is really difficult. One important learning we have also learned, especially when exporting expert businesses, local presence, and that can be either achieved by actually be present in the market or to use local partners or local relationships, and this is really important. And also from market to market, typically the same approach may not work, so you have to be adaptive, but it's really important to stay true to core value, what your company is doing or what your experts are doing. Okay, and moving on to some do's and don't do's. So I would say that it's best idea to focus maybe for a few markets, but then really put effort on them and do them well. And especially whenever you get the first deals, it's crucial to deliver good quality on them. What is true, especially for transport and logistics, is also that we have lots of international standards and regulation which is applied. So it's a good idea to develop expertise and also the solutions or maybe products around these standards that makes the export much easier. Finding the local champions, as mentioned before, that's really important. You have to have boots on the ground, and also to partner up with other companies, maybe from your home market, to build strong offering bundle and to really be more than just 1+1. So build bigger, more compelling offerings. And lastly, and maybe the most important one is to leverage any clusters, industrial associations, and also events as a platforms to build brand awareness. So in Finland, we have the the transport data export cluster run by Fintraffic, and also like Nordic Plus is a great example of such community where it's really easy to be part of the movement and be present and visible. Some don'ts. Don't expect any quick wins, and this is especially true with public sector clients. It tends to take quite long time for gaining new customers in this sector. Also, don't use whatever works with your home market, because it might not work in different countries due to some different competition situation, different culture, maybe some practices. Also, if you are a really big and well-known player in your home market, don't assume that you're also that in a new market, and trust is gained by experiences. And also, don't spread your resources too thin across many markets. And maybe as a final conclusion, I believe that this export business is not just about reaching the new market. It's more about building the relationships that actually make the journey worthwhile. And this is also something that I have found to be the big motivation for me personally to be involved in this kind of export cases. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anssi. Thank you so much. I mean, the presentations you all provided were very insightful. I always have this ambition that I want to put so much in, and then my schedule always kind of goes belly up. I have one question that is really important, and no one really mentioned the importance of collaboration between public and private. And as we have many public sites and public organizations that are offering their kind of products and solutions to you. So how do you see the importance of the public entity joining and being part of your kind of a cooperation and understanding what you're selling? If there's any one of you wanting to say that before, maybe a short word to Joseph after that. Anssi, Olav, Karen, or Edgars, any comment on the project on the public-private cooperation? A quick one.
Quick one. I can be the first one. Maybe I think it's very important that there is both sides, like public and private, involved there, because then the actually things and knowledges and experience are being exchanged. Because if only there is a private involved, they are speaking only from one side, and in transportation mobility, public is the one who is typically ordering or defining the requirements and standards.
Okay, good. Anyone else before I just need to end this kind of a webinar? Good.
I would say private public partnership is a bit important to check out that they are not just looking for a pilot. Because that is something that costs something. I think it's also important to find out, are there any scalability after pilots, and that is of course important.
Very good. That's a very hot topic that we would like to have another webinar about, not end in the death of piloting, but also scalability. Joseph, you have your hand up, so I'm going to be polite to say if you have a quick comment, because I need to end this webinar.
I have a quick comment. Since many of these applications are for authorities, for regional services, for public services, the client is very often a public client. And as it was said in the various presentations, it takes a long time to make decisions if it comes to politics. And they are the clients, so that's important, and one can build up also good relations with the public, and their interest is to deliver a successful project with little risk, and where the politicians get re-elected after their time period when it's ending. And I would like just to say a word why I'm participating in this meeting. Moving forward, Consulting is located in Bonn, and the core service is to help and to support companies for their growth on their export journey. And I will dare to reach out to you to inform you a little bit more in detail. And this was an excellent webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining on this Friday. And we will continue the work. And the ones that are at Intertraffic, reach out. We have some free codes. If you don't have an entrance ticket yet, let us know. And see you soon. And have a great weekend when that time comes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.